Hello, how's it going? I work best in a sort of obscure, indeed, a state where criminals of any kind, of any color, are basically ejected. They're forbidden. Um, it's my work is highly corruptible. So if there are educated and fully vetted people, whether they're foreign or otherwise, fully educated, they speak English, that is lingua franco, or whatever it is, lingua, uh, and Western rationality. Um, I am thrilled, okay, and I will encapsulate and codify and prototype those thrills until they are safe psychologically and economically for all types in the world. And it's said that AI technology and communications can be a very important tool, but it can also be weaponized. So I'll give you an example. Right now, I'm sitting in my office, so to speak, and it's been rather quiet all morning, except as soon as I started talking, I heard a loud generator start. So the distractions are quite omnipresent, and I would prefer to not communicate on accessible technology. I did everything on paper until it was perfect, and then I never had a phone. Okay, I don't think some people need a phone. Their team might have a phone, but they might be apart from them quite often, and actually have the security and the support for the economies, for the industry, for the technological designs, the policy, and the education that's required to not have criminal distractions like that generator, which just started and it's still going. And it was quiet all along until I turned the camera on. Okay, so it almost shut off. Okay, you can intimidate them, but I'd rather avoid them completely. It's the idea of the criminal. You could play a game with them, or you could avoid them and actually have global success. Okay, that's the reality. Most people, they didn't grow up in the Wild West at all, or they had they didn't have an American father, or a healthcare parent, or a little sister, or a Jewish big sister, or a black big sister, rather. Um, didn't have George Washington's, and Benny and Jenny. Um, they didn't have the liabilities, which some people do have, and those people can be the tempered keystones to make sure that everyone else is actually safe. Um, and I can do that, okay? But if you try to make a conversation out of it, I am disgusted because I see a pile of disasters, a mountain of disasters. If you want to pretend like, oh, this is so, my life is so innocent, let's have a conversation. That's a like a generator grinding away, just saying, oh yes, I like cocaine or something like that. I like to have conversations. Let me talk. I'll do the. Let me ask the questions, and the scientist, the visionary, can produce that in a peaceful situation without that cokehead mentality of the guy who simply ain't George Washington, but wants that support, because that support is imperative. Okay, that's as innocent as it gets in that vacuum, away from those excuses. And Ben Franklin, he demonstrates his intelligence from a rather early age, and he becomes a scapegoat. and the whole world goes to hell. Bunker Hill, the intelligence, the integrity of the world becomes a competition to get the money, and never mind the culture or the nation. A communist toilet, basically, flushing the gold, something like that.